Hey boys and girls, it's Mrs. Davis here at home, and today we are going to be talking once again about nonfiction. Now, in the past, we have studied fiction versus nonfiction. We compared the two types of ways that writers like to write, and we also dived in to discovering the features of fiction and nonfiction, and we really focused in our attention on those nonfiction text features. Today, we're going to be thinking all things nonfiction, but we're going to be thinking about writing. Now that we're familiar with what the purpose of nonfiction books are and how to navigate them, and we understand their text features and how they work, we are now ready to dive into becoming authors of nonfiction. So let's get started today with some writing workshop. Let me just stick this behind me. Now you can see that I have my board all set up because we're going to take this nonfiction writing step by step. Of course, the first thing you need to do is you need to understand how nonfiction works, how to navigate it, and what its purpose really is. And of course, we know that it's designed to teach, explain, and inform the person that is reading it. So nonfiction has a specific purpose. That's the first step, which we've already done. Now we're going to dive into the next couple steps so we can actually be writing our nonfiction books and be nonfiction authors. Okay, so the second thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to do some thinking. And as we are thinking, we're going to be thinking about nonfiction topics that we want to write about. So the second thing we have to do is think and make a list of nonfiction topics. So I've grabbed my writer's notebook, and I wanted just to bring you back to the beginning of school when we actually started our writing workshop with making a list of topics. Remember that? It was way back in September and October. We wanted to think before we started writing, and that's the same thing that you have to do when you're going to write about nonfiction. You have to think about a topic, but it has to be a real topic, something real, something true. And then, after you think for a while, you need to make a list. So here's what I did. I did some thinking, and I made a long list of topics. So I put them in categories, and you can see my sections. I was thinking about people and animals because there are lots of creatures out there that are real, places, and even things. These are all categories that I can list topics that I might want to write about that are nonfiction. Now, when I'm thinking about people, I want to think about famous people, people that we know about and that others might know about and want to learn about. Because remember, I'm going to teach, explain, and inform when I write. So in my list of people, I thought about some people that we studied when we were at school this year. Remember Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., and don't forget Dr. Seuss. Yeah, I put him on my list. He's a real person, so I can write about him if I want. Animals. Now, animals are always a great nonfiction topic. I made a list here. I said wolves because remember we did do a little research and studying on wolves at the beginning of the year. Birds, You know I love birds, and I do know about birds, so that would be a good topic for me to write on. Giraffes. Now, I do know a few things about giraffes, but I don't know a lot. However, I find giraffes very interesting, and I feel like if I'm going to write about a topic that is nonfiction, I want to write about one that I find interesting, and then I feel like I'll do a better job at writing if I like what I'm writing about, you know. And then down here, sharks. I don't really love sharks, however, I know a lot of people do find sharks fascinating. We're heading soon into our season of summer, and I know that a lot of people like to go to the beaches, and then they think about sharks. So I thought, hey, let's write that one down. There's even a week on TV called Shark Week. So I think that would be interesting. Places. The beach. I love to go to the beach, and many people do, so that would be a good writing topic. Michigan. I am from Michigan, so I know a lot about that place, and you know, I'd like to tell other people about my state. Africa. I don't know a lot about Africa, but again, I find it very fascinating. I would like to learn more, so it would be definitely a topic that I might want to find out some more information about to share with others. The forest. You know, I'm walking around a lot in my neighborhood, and I'm seeing a lot of things out in nature, beautiful flowers, trees, creatures, and it got me thinking about what else can I learn about the forest and the creatures in nature. And then finally, I put down the moon. You know, we studied the solar system. We didn't really talk about the moon so much. I thought it might be something that I would like to find out more about. You know, I'm really interested in the solar system, but that is a place I want to find out more facts about. And then things. I just made a quick list over here. Bike, camera, helicopter, Legos. Yeah, I was thinking about Legos because I know a lot of kids play with Legos, and when I was young, Legos were around even back in the olden days when I was little. They have changed over time, and there's so much more you could do with them, so I thought that would be a great topic for sure. Now, once I make my long list, I really have to then start thinking, and I have to narrow this list down. So that's a lot of subjects, a lot of topics. So then I have to stop and think about just a few topics that really interest me and that I think would be easy to find facts out about and that maybe others would want to learn about too. So I have gotten my writer's notebook ready. I put the date, as we always do when we're working in our writer's notebook. I put my topics as a title. I'm getting it prepared. And then I did remind myself, and I wanted to remind you also, that these should be nonfiction topics. Remember, they need to be real people or animals or things or places. They need to be, we need to focus on places and people and animals that everyone is familiar with. Now, I'm going to grab my pencil and I'm going to make a list. I'm going to take one from each of these. So for my person, I bet you can figure out who I'm going to select. You know, I love Dr. Seuss's writings, his craziness. And, you know, as we were studying his life when we were celebrating his birthday in March, I know a few things about him. I know about his sister, and I know about his writing habits, and that he liked to work at home, you know, so I already got a jump start on that one. Yeah, I'm going to go for sharks. Yeah, let's do sharks for the animal. You know, there's so many creatures too. So that's a really good category if you're thinking about your first time writing nonfiction as a topic. Animals are always interesting. There's a lot of them, and you can find a lot of facts out there about animals. So that's a good starting place. I'm going to select the moon. I know you thought I was going to select Michigan. Not the moon, of course. So here's my list so far. Okay. Let me select for my thing Legos. Yeah, Legos are cool. I not only think they would be fun to research, but it would be fun to write about them, and I think it would be a thing that people would want to read about. Now, even though I've narrowed that down to 4, now I have to select just one. I'm going to focus on one topic. What would you do? What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to circle. Did you guess I would select sharks? Yeah. I'm going to research sharks. I'm going to find out more about sharks so I can actually write about them. Now, we said, first of all, you have to be familiar with nonfiction text features and what the purpose of nonfiction books are. We've done that. The second thing before you write nonfiction is you've got to select a topic. So we've done our second thing. Now we have to do our third big step when you're starting out in this journey of nonfiction writing. It's called research. Yeah, all authors of nonfiction have to gather facts. And there's a lot of different ways that an author can do research. So let's talk about researching, studying, finding out true facts and information. If you're going to tell people true facts, you have to know the true facts. You have to gather the information, and you can't just find it in one place. And it can't be just what you think you already know. You actually have to study your topic and collect information. So let's talk about how kids can do that and gather their facts and information. There's a couple different ways. Let me show you the first way that you can gather research. You can research and gather information. So this first way is books. And one of the reasons I even picked sharks was because here at my house, I have a large collection of shark books for sure. So, and this one is a great source of information. I don't want to just look in one book. I want to look in several books, because then I'm going to get all the true facts and information, and I can compare. What did this book say about sharks? What did this book say? Maybe this one has facts that this one doesn't. So I want to read more, use more than one source. And you know what? Books are great. However, you can also use the internet. Yeah, you can do some research, some finding and gathering facts from the internet. But boys and girls, the internet is a big space. And sometimes it's not always safe for kids, or even adults for that matter. There are some really great sites out there, but there are also some not so good sites. So in order to be able to research a topic safely, there are some places that kids can go. So I have made some posters. These are kid-friendly search engines. A search engine is a place that you can go and type in your topic, and it will bring all kinds of websites up that will tell you about that topic. These are some of the search engines that I use every year when I'm working on nonfiction writing with my students. So I wanted you to have this information too. So this first one is Google Kids. Now, you're familiar with Google. However, Google is not always, it's good, but it's not always a good place for kids to search. Sometimes some inappropriate things come up in Google. So this is Google Safe Search for Kids. And you can see right here that there is a search bar. So you would go to the website, the search engine, Google Kids, and then you would type in your topic. And once you type it in and you click, it will take you to many different websites that you can choose. And of course, this is where you're going to need a big brother or a big sister or a mom or a dad, someone that can help you navigate all those choices. Again, this is not something you're going to want to do on your own. You need some help. This is another one called Kidtopia. This is a new one that I found. I had never seen it. So I actually went here and it's pretty easy to navigate. There are lots of choices for you to click on, or you could even, again, type in the topic that you're looking for. This is Yahooligans. This is a fun one because there is a part of this search engine that you can ask a question. And when you ask the question, it will give you all kinds of answers. So that one's a fun one. And then this is the one I always use when I'm doing a research project with my students in class. It's called KidRex. Again, you can see that little search bar right there. You type in what you want to look for, click search. You will be navigated to a list of different choices that you can click on. Again, you'll need an adult to help you with this. Now, once you select your topic, we know about nonfiction, we've selected our topic, we've made some choices, and then we selected one, and then we start to do our research. Oh yeah, don't forget Epic Books, that's a good source too. When we're researching, we want to have lots of places to gather facts. Then, as we're studying our topic, we're going to need to take some notes. You can't just start writing. Nonfiction is a big journey. So you can't just start writing. You've got to take notes. You've got to gather your facts. Remember, this type of writing is to teach, explain, and inform. So you've got to gather your facts. And usually what I like to do is I like to, when we're thinking about nonfiction writing in class, I like to create a little organizer for my students who are gathering facts when they're doing their research, they're studying. And this is just a little quick collection place. We're not going to be writing sentences, just quick facts. So we usually, as a group, pick an animal. This one's great for animals. This box will collect information about habitats, where the animals live. They could live in many places, so we want to make a list. And then this talks about collecting facts about their movement. How do they get around? What activities do they do? We want to make a list, and of course we're checking multiple sources, books, internet sites, Epic Books. Yeah, we want to go to many places. Again, we're not just going to be writing what we think we know. We're actually going to have to find out true facts, because that's what nonfiction is all about. This section here is about looks and classification, because when we are explaining about a creature or something that we're writing about, we want to describe its special features. So we have to make a list. We're telling others facts, so the more we gather, the better our writing is going to be. On this page, I have a section for food. What does that creature eat? And then I put predator and prey, because most creatures are both predator and prey. And so we want to talk about how they eat and how they hunt and who hunts them. Facts like that will go here. And then life cycle in babies, that's always the favorite part when we're doing research in class every year. So we're going to find out how they're born and how they change over time, what they look like when they're babies as compared to what they look like when they're adults. So all that information is going here. And then finally, I like to reserve a spot for interesting facts, because there are so many facts about creatures that we just might want to make a list of very interesting facts. And then the final page with this note collection organizer, at the back, I have included all of those really cool nonfiction text features, because when we actually start writing our topic and we start writing facts down, we also might want to include some of these text features, so they'll be included in our note-taking, organizing section so that we can refer back to that. There's a lot of steps to writing nonfiction, but nonfiction is so cool. You can learn so many facts and you can teach others so many facts. So let's review. Today, we've been thinking about the steps needed to take before writing a nonfiction topic. We've thought about you have to know about nonfiction. We do. We had to make a list of topics. We did. And then we have to start researching in safe ways and multiple ways. So the internet, books, yeah, we have to gather lots of facts. So we have to go to lots of sources, and then we still can't write. We've got to take our notes and gather so many facts. We've got to do our research. There's a lot of steps, but boy, it sure is worthwhile, because when you're teaching, explaining, and informing, you've got to know the facts. Now, here's what I want you to do at home to get the journey started. I want you to get your writer's notebook. And I think I sent all of your writer's notebooks home. However, if you didn't get yours, you can just get some writing paper. Your journey can begin as long as you have something to write on. Any kind of paper will do. I want you to put the date that you're working on this, and I want you to write your title, My Topics, Nonfiction. I want you to make a list. Now, I made a short list because I had taken some choices from my long list. So what I think would be good as you're thinking about real people, places, and things that you might want to write about, you might want to make a longer list than 4. Maybe you want to make 6 or 7 or 8 different choices. And then maybe have a discussion with your family members and ask them what their thought is, what they think would be interesting for you to write about. And then, as I did, circle the choice, the one that you want to research and find out more about. Now, when you're thinking about making your list, I want you to think about, if you're going to do a person, you want to think about a famous person. I know your mom is a person and you love her, but she's not a famous person. So we want to think of real people that others out in the world would want to know about, or they might already know a little bit about, but they want to know more about. Same thing with the animal category. I know you might have a dog, but you don't want to write about your dog. If you select that topic, you would just want to write about dogs in general. So you're thinking about, famous people or animal creatures that everybody wants to know facts about and that you can actually research and find out more facts about. Okay, you've got some thinking to do and some writing to do. And hey, if you select your topic and you want to get started on your research and you want to start finding out more about it, that's great too. Okay, get busy. And as always, make sure that you take a picture of your work and send me your list of topics. I can't wait to see what you're interested in. Okay, until our next writing workshop time, as always, have a good one.